So I'm at the Department of Workforce Development. Department of Corrections, and I'm gonna go see my parole agent. I doubt she cares about the technology that's in my body or the issues I've been having in the community with the gay community. That guy just got out of his car, showed his butt to me. I was sitting in my car right there. That dude has his pants below his waist, and you can see the top of his butt. And when he bent over, you can see more of his butt sticking out of his pants. I was parked in the car, and he did it on purpose. He knew I could clearly see his butt, and people across town have been doing that, and he wanted me to get mad, right? To cause an altercation. And he's waiting there right now to see if I'll do something violent or approach him or say something to him or do something that'll get me violated. Someone just told me in my ear he probably has a gun. So if you approach his car, he's gonna shoot you. He's gonna turn this into one of those news you see where people are get shot. You know, the videos you see where someone gets shot. But the guy wants me to get upset, but I seen his butt cheeks. I saw the man's butt cheeks, and someone else just told me in my ears, if you say ass cheeks or butt cheeks, they're gonna violate your probation. Uh, they're gonna violate your probation because they told you not to say ass cheeks or butt cheeks, and in public or on their property. Uh, so, so, anyways, I'm gonna go in here and tell her what just happened. Maybe she'll do something about it. Maybe she won't. I think this dude stalked me. So I think showing up to a location and exposing your butt or letting me see your butt is, after my personal history, it looks like stalking. It looks like you showed up just for that purpose, right? Just to make me see your butt cheeks right outside the Department of Corrections. And that requires stalking. How often do you believe somebody's going to show up somewhere and see somebody's butt when they get there? So they just told me in my ears, no one's going to see your YouTube videos. No one's ever going to watch your YouTube videos. I kind of want to pull the dash cam out of my car. I think that's what he wanted me to do. That takes like 2 hours to pull the dash cam out, clip all the videos, the minutes together, and then upload that. It's a 2-hour process, and it takes all night. It takes your whole night from you. So that guy just made sure that I would either waste my entire day or post a video and waste my entire evening and post that video. So it's a 2-hour process. I think I will. I don't know. I don't know if I will or I won't, but that guy definitely did what I just told you. I seen his butt. He wore his pants low. There was no underwear, and I saw his butt. I think that's what gay dudes do. No heterosexual man will ever expose his butt out in the public. And it's cold. It's freaking cold. So if I were to bend over forward like this and my butt came out, I'm going to pull my pants up because of the cold air. I don't have to have somebody tell me to pull my pants up. And nobody's ever going to see my butt in public. So I think she knows that my parole agent is acting stupid. She knows damn well that men who do this are gay or are sexually harassing me. And for like the last year, she's been ignoring the fact that there are men sexually harassing me in public. Because of the description, what I'm describing sounds like sexual harassment, and it sounds like the dudes are probably gay, and she protects them, and she's trying to cause me to have like a lie. She's lying to me so that I feel confused. I'm mentally confused, right? That confusion, but you gotta be certain about what you're talking about, and it's clear that she's trying to protect those people or try to get me to, the stories about the victims of rapists who the whole community around them told them that nothing happened to you, and the whole time they were being raped. I think that's what my parole agent is trying to do. She's trying to promote that rape, help the gay community sexually assault me, so they could and then make me think I'm not making sense, and that's what she's doing. But the truth is, these guys are sexually harassing me, and they did it. They do it on purpose. They do it constantly. They are constantly showing up where I go, sexually harassing me, and that requires stalking. It requires like a felony behavior to do. And plus the technology in my body, she's probably, and there's someone electrocuting my penis right now. Well, as I'm talking to you and I keep adjusting my pants, it's because somebody is electrocuting my genitals, and for some stupid reason, if I move my pants around a little bit, they'll stop electrocuting my genitals for half a second. And at least it feels good. My penis feels normal again for half a second. But I gotta go in here and clock in and do all this stuff, so follow me. So again, you come in here and then you fill this out. And then say no, yes, no, part-time, Taco Bell, line, I don't know her name. The start date was last week. Today's date is, who knows? Hours a week 20. And then you get paid bi-weekly, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. No, 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 yes, I'm still being sexually harassed. Charles? In the community. Oh my God, I was talking about with by the gay community. Literally, one try. Everywhere I go. Had the name wrong originally, and then I found out he's like this YouTuber, so maybe you might recognize him. Look at that gaslighting. Sure, yeah. How's it going? It's a YouTuber. You hear that? It's like sneak. You ever heard of like insulting someone by making offhanded comments? So she's insulting me because I make YouTube videos, or I tell on YouTube like a distasteful, I don't like, he's a YouTuber or something like that, or I don't know, he's a YouTuber. She's I don't know, somebody knows what I'm talking about when you make comments that people don't like, or you're talking to someone but you're standing 5 feet away and they overhear the comments you're making is like reference, like there's a commonality between what you're doing now and what they're talking about. No, whoever that was. So I'm writing here that I am still being sexually harassed in the community by the gay community everywhere I go. I am forced to work with only people in the gay community, and there's technology in my body. So I'm writing that. In my body, electrocuting my genitals and ears. In my ears at all times. And there are people talking to me. There are people constantly talking to me. So that's the report. And I'm going to turn this in. So yeah, like I was saying, like right now, no, what was I saying? Oh, harassing people. So no, I think the gay community is using like imagery plus technology to hurt somebody. So when what I'm saying is that what am I saying? So when I arrived here, they show you real imagery. They show you imagery they want you to see in person, and then they electrocute body parts inside your body as you see the in person imagery. They can also flash an image of whatever you want, whatever they want in front of your eyes, like a video, like a cell phone. It's basically like a tiny cell phone implant, and it could do everything your cell phone can do, but it's inside your body. They added some features to help you to hurt you, like electrocuting your genitals and electrocuting your ears, your anus. So the last couple of days, these guys have been electrocuting my anus and making my anus bulge out. So like making my anus feel like it's bulging, or making me feel like I'm flatulating. Flatulating, and there's like something coming out of my butt all the time. They call it an orgasm. In the gay community, they use their feces as a indication of orgasms. So gay men poop and use like their anuses as a vagina. So they've gone on to like to demonstrate orgasms with feces. So and they want me to do that. They're telling me to poop when you have an orgasm or something like that. And they're moving my anus around when they choose to um, to make me think that my anus is a vagina. So that's what gay dudes do. They put technology in people to make their fantasy of being a woman a reality. So you can do things to men to make them to imitate what women do, and you use technology to facilitate to put technology in their bodies to make their body parts move like a woman's body part could move. I'll just put it over here. So it's technology, it's implants. So someone a long time ago figured out how to do it. I'll just put it right there. All right. Okay. So, another thing I noticed that when you look down into the ground, a lot of people like to stare at the side of. When I look into the ground, a lot of people like to stare at the side of my face, like with a real angry look. But you're focused on the ground, or you're focused on something near the ground. So you have to think about what you're doing if you look in their direction, or you'd have to. And she just went like when I pointed in her direction, like she was afraid I was gonna hit her or something. But I wasn't. I was just gonna point like this. Do you have a light in here?
These overhead lights?
Yeah.
I do. You want them on?
Yeah. Could you turn it on?
Yeah. They usually bother my eyes. That's
Oh.
why I don't have them on.
Oh, this is way better. But yeah, do you ever notice somebody staring at the side of your face like really aggressively?
I think the front desk was trying to get the employment history updated because there were some employment entries that didn't have end dates. So instead of just waiting out there, I'm just gonna do that real quick. I just want to make sure it's all updated.
Yeah, she could have asked. She's spoken to me before. So,
do you remember when you stopped working at Dogtopia? Just guesstimate.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah. Look back in.
No, I don't remember.
I would have written it down. June, you were working there, and then.
I can't remember.
Maybe July or August. I have when you stopped working at CS Logistics. That was 8/15/20.
I think
so I can put that one in.
I'll have to call. No, the registry has my updated employment history.
Okay.
So,
reach out to them too.
Yeah, they wouldn't give me my. I asked for employment history when I got out of prison, and they would not give it to me.
Oh, really? The registry wouldn't?
Yeah.
Oh.
So.
I mean, well, we have from 2000. We have Festival Foods. It looks like is the earliest one we have in our system, and then we have to 2017, 2018. Really, it's just the Dogtopia one that we don't have an end date.
Oh. I will. I don't know exactly. It's a few months ago.
That's fine. That's fine. 15. CS Logistics.
There's a guy outside. He had his pants down. I can see his butt.
Outside?
Yeah, right outside your door. No, like outside in the parking lot.
Outside in the parking lot?
Yeah. I parked and I looked up and I could see the top of his butt. He had no underwear on.
Okay. Did you say something to him?
No. Okay. You said I couldn't record, so I can't really give you evidence. But it happened.
I believe you.
And I think that's like stalking, right? It's unlikely that I'm gonna keep seeing guys in the places where I go with their pants down.
It happens to you a lot.
As soon as I arrive to the location.
Yeah.
So I got here within a minute or 2 minutes of arriving. The guy pulled up, got out of his car, and got back. Went to the back of his car, and he wanted me to see his butt. I think he wants an altercation. Like, if you keep seeing things you don't like, I think the thoughts are to make that person mad, that there's nothing they can do to stop what they see, so they choose instead of I choose to tell, but I think in history or on the news or YouTube or all over the place, people choose to be violent and
Okay.
and I think those are called instigators,
Okay.
all people who cause altercations. And I think that's what that guy wanted. He somehow knew I'd be here. Who knows? A lot of stalkers have many ways to figure out where people are going to be and when. And I think he planned on uh, uh, showing me his butt to see what I would do.
Okay.
So,
but you didn't take the bait.
You think that
you weren't confrontational. You weren't.
Did you guys catch her eyebrows? Incredulous. You just showed a facial expression that means I don't understand, or I don't, or that's hard to imagine.
No, so I can't always control what my eyebrows do. Number one, okay. I'm sometimes I'm very expressive. So what I was saying is, you started this by saying that you feel when this happens that they're trying to instigate, because people they want you to respond aggressively, or they want you to do something that's going to get you into trouble. You've said that a lot of times. Yes. Like they're trying to get a reaction out of you that's going to get you into trouble. Yes. Right. And what I said was, but you didn't take the bait, right? You weren't confrontational.
Right.
You're telling. You didn't confront. You didn't escalate the situation further, right?
Yes.
So he's trying to instigate. He's initiating this. He wants to escalate. You're not.
Yes,
fighting.
Basically, yes. You're right.
Okay.
You're right. So my point is that it's a constant, and I think this is sexual harassment that leads to altercation. And the guy who was just outside, I want to tell you, just was one of the participants in a group of people who have been trying to cause an altercations, like by doing things I don't like. So it's like this is common sense, and I just don't understand why it's so difficult for many people to understand how easy and how that is actually how easy it is for people to do this, and why no one is responding appropriately.
So what would you like?
I don't know. There was a guy who was here. I don't know. He was here at 11 o'clock.
Was he leaving?
Was
he coming in?
He walked into the building. He walked back out. He was here for like 1 or 2 minutes.
Okay.
It's a parolee, and if he's engaged in stalking, if he's a parolee, that should be a violation of your probation to instigate or to stalk someone, to show up somewhere for the purpose of exposing your butt to them to see what they would do in response. Is pretty bad. I mean, I never show my butt to anybody. I'd never have my pants.
That's on the assumption or your belief that it was intentional.
It was. Okay. It's repeated behavior. Yeah. And
repeated behavior by him.
Well, it's group. People keep assuming that one individual has to repeat the behavior, but you could do it as a group.
Group behavior. Okay.
So if you're so it's like mob mentality. So if 10 guys rape a girl, there's no difference in one person raping that girl or the 10 dudes who raped that girl. Whether they did it over a week or 2 weeks, wouldn't make a difference if they did it in one day. If those 10 dudes spaced out the period of time they raped a girl in one day, there'd be no difference. So people who keep asking, why are you accusing? It's not illegal. There's no intentions. If it's spread out, if multiple people do it, you can't prove intent. That's a lie. You can prove intent if 20 people did it or 50 people did it. You can prove because the act is the same. The actions of each individual is the same. So trying to use psychology to get me to believe it's impossible to think that you can prove intent if a group of people commit a crime rather than one person commits the crime.
I see what you're saying.
It's asinine. It's like you're trying to gaslight me, like telling me that was it one person or was it 10 people?
Would you like me to look through the video surveillance to find out who it is?
It would, yes, no,
Okay.
yeah. If you, my job is to tell you.
Okay.
Your job is to decide how to handle that. What I told you.
Okay.
I would like it to stop.
If
Initially, I want it to stop.
I
After
understand
everything, consequentially,
I understand.
I don't care about.
I understand. I can look at the check-in log to see who came in around the same time that you did. If it's it wasn't like a mailman or anything like that. I don't know. I don't know. I don't keep track of who's in and out. If it's a client, they would have checked in and the name would be on the board. And if that's the case, then I can find out who the agent is and I can relay your concern.
Okay, cool. There's still technology in my body. This whole month, someone's been electrocuting my ears, my ears, my anus, and my genitals. Like right now, someone is electrocuting my penis, and electrocuting this whole last few days. They've been playing with my anus, and Todd Hall has been speaking. Someone just said his name in my ears again, and they told me it's not in your ears. The technology, it's in your head. So they're not. If you search for the technology in your ears, you're not going to find. So like 3 weeks ago, they told me this. They just said ha, or like we revealed our secret to you. It's you can transmit information directly into the brain. So you don't have to put something in somebody's ears. As long as the device is connected to the place where you hear things in your mind, the information you will hear it like it came from your ears. But instead of coming like the device being in your ears, it goes straight. It's like information. So the brain, your ears translate into electrical signals. So if you send the same electrical signals into the brain, you can hear voices like you would hear anything else. So it doesn't have to be a device in your ear. It could be directly connected to your brain. So and it's all so instead of the ears going through a process of translating what they heard, you just send the information directly to the brain, and it's just like you heard it in your ears. And they told me it makes sense, right? And I wasn't too. I didn't jump up and down when they explained exactly how it works. I could have cared less, and that's how it functions. So it's an implant. They put implants in people across the country to make sure that they could do or hear whatever they want them to hear. So the guy Todd Hall has been speaking to me for the last month, well, for years, trying to get me to have sex with gay people so that he can win a bonus or prove to people he was right, or have sex with, or be a rapist, or hurt people in the community, or commit suicide. His satisfaction. Todd Hall is a racist, so I didn't know Big Brothers and Big Sisters hooked me up with a guy who was a racist and a gay dude. So he had his ideology on life and black people have always been like a racist man. He disguised it. He told me that this is hard life and this is how you're supposed to live. So he treated me poor, like he was being tough on. Well, not tough, but difficult. But it wasn't difficulty. It was racism, and he disguised it as how life was supposed to be between him and I. So for years, this man was lying to me about why he was treating me the way he was treating me, and he used technology to tell me the truth. He's racist, and he's also gay, and he likes to have sex with dudes. And his wife knows it, and he's in the community of gay men who hide who they are, and he has a responsibility to pass on the culture to somebody else. So he's been using technology to try to pass gay culture on to me, and that's what he's been. It's called grooming. People call it grooming. They call it child rape. They call it manipulation. They call it all types of things. But he's hidden. He hid the grooming from me because I didn't know what grooming was. I didn't know what child rape. Well, I knew child rape in the sense that you force somebody to have sex with somebody else, but there's other ways to rape children. You can use psychology. You can use socialism. You can use manipulation. You can do all types of things to assault children. And when they told me what they were after, I realized that my childhood and the technology they're using to get me to have sex with them it's called grooming. It's essentially grooming, and Todd Hall has been participating for years, and he's been lying as he's flashing an image of himself in my left eye right now. He's been lying and making stupid faces. He's been lying and lying for years about to protect himself. Years later, 30 years in advance, so that because he knew what he was going to do 30 years later, he knew what was going to happen to me, and I'm trying my best to tell him. And that's what's been happening to me the last 30 days. Taylor Swift, she's also gay. This girl is she helps she's helping Todd Hall as much as she can. Whenever I'm thinking or trying to speak, she'll scream, she'll say something with a gay voice, like a really deep man's voice, and it's her voice. It's the same voice of the girl I hear on TV. I don't watch her. I don't follow her. I don't. But I've heard her voice enough before they turned this stuff on to know her voice.
Yeah.
And I recognize Todd's voice. I recognize voices of the kids I grew up with. I recognize the people I work with. I recognize everybody's voice when I hear it. So I'm not stupid. I know it's their voices. I know it's no one else's voices except theirs. And this girl, this celebrity, is talking to me and telling me to have sex with men. And she's telling me that if you don't, I'm gonna have to give my virginity to somebody else. I'm going to. I think she's not. I know she's. I tell her all the time she's a piece of. I say the worst things to her, when she talks to me, and I don't believe anything she says. Her and several other people. Dwayne Johnson, he's also participating. Lil Wayne just flashed an image of himself in my right eye, and nodded his head and say my name as well. And these celebrities and these people I grew up with are trying their best to get me to have sex with gay people, and they put technology in me to help them do it. And that's what I've been telling you, and that is continuing to happen. And there are people in the community forcing me to have work with gay people. Like I showed up to Taco Bell, they hired me, and every single person I work with is in the gay community. The last job I had at the UPS store, every single person I worked with was gay. The job before that, every single person I worked with was in the gay community. The job before that, all those people were in the gay community as well.
So you're working 20 hours. How many days a week are you
It varies.
It
She switches it up every week.
Okay. So you work between like the hours of 11 a.m. and 7 p.m.?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's interesting that when I'm talking about technology, people hardly believe it. But in reality, you can these are both parts of reality. But the other part of reality is that I'm actually being forced to work with people who support the gay community or people who are actually openly in the gay community. And that should be interesting enough to notice that this man is surrounded by gay people and outside of his control. He applies to work, and the only people who offer employment are gay people. And he's complaining about things that describe something that a gay person would do, like sexual harassment, bending over, exposing your butt, making faces, sexual gestures, touching the side of your face like this, putting your tongue out of your mouth, doing this, looking at someone's face and doing that, or what else do they do? Making faces, and then looking away, and then or making weird gestures with their faces to cause altercation. So you're walking down the street, somebody's looking at you, and you look at them just to see their facial features, just to look at their eyes, the cheeks, the nose, the mouth, and the jawline, to see who they are, to recognize them and all that stuff. And then they look back at you like, and then they look normal again. And people do that, they're trying to cause an altercation. They're called instigators. So for that second where that guy was staring at you with a really aggressive look and then switching back to a normal look, you saw it, and you know that upsets you. That's very upsetting to see somebody stare at you like they're about to fight you, or for a split second, and then switch back. So you can't pull a camera out fast enough to record the expression, but you've seen it. And these do then when you walk up to them or walk past, not walk up to them, but walk past them, they say they look at you like, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna hurt me? Are you gonna hurt me? Like they're victims. They're about to be victimized. But what they just did was harass you, and then pretended to be a victim. And that's what my probation is. That's what happens to me when I walk outside or wherever I go. Somebody is doing something that is thought causes you to have negative thoughts and feel takes energy out of you. So
It sounds exhausting.
And it's like or psychology. So I went to work at Taco Bell. There was a woman. There's two kids. They just told me to remind you of this story because I can't really access my memory naturally. Normally, they're blocking it from me. And there's a woman with two kids, and as I walked out of the store, the woman acted like she was terrified, and I did absolutely nothing. I just was walking, and she looked at her children, and then she looked at me like she was terrified, and I think she wanted me to associate her fear with her children. I'm sorry, they just told me. They just said to say exactly what I just said. That wasn't my words. That wasn't my memory. But but it is what happened. The woman wanted me to associate her fear with her children. That she's afraid for her children around me. I made her afraid for her children, and there's they just. I hate repeating what they say. But there are many instances where people are trying to get me to think sexual thoughts or rape thoughts by using child like children to act like they're afraid I would hurt them, or a man to a woman acting like she's afraid I would hurt her. And it's like even though to make sure I'm thinking about rape in my mind, having the thoughts about rape, so you can, even though I'm not thinking about it, you can make somebody think about sexual assault by making yourself afraid and making a reference towards sex and who you're looking at. So that's what my probation's been like for 5 years. 6 years. I've tried to tell as much as I can, and I'm telling again. So that's pretty much it as well as I can.
So not a lot's changed, is what you're saying.
No, nothing's changed. It's not a joke. It's pretty serious.
I'm not joking. Nothing. I mean, nothing's.
I think it's pretty serious.
Pretty consistent report.
Oh.
I just wanted to update the supervision fees because if you're working 20 hours, I don't want you getting charged more than.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna go down to the 40. You were getting charged 60.
Yep.
Okay.
I think she just wants things to play out. I'm telling them that I strongly believe you have the standpoint to just let things play out, and
what do you mean?
The standpoint of the position. Your perspective is just to let things play out. Everything after I just said, your idea is just let things play out. I think that's what happens in the news.
So I'll kind of, and we've talked about this. It can be a challenging position on my end because we've talked about, and you've made it very clear what you go through, your experience, not being believed, not being taken seriously. Okay, I believe that you're experiencing this. Okay, I don't know what the DOC can do, except for listen to your reports, to listen to your experiences. In terms of action, you have kind of decided that the more people you tell and the more you broadcast is what's ultimately going to help you, because somebody somewhere or a group of people who are experiencing the same thing can come together and figure out how to remove this technology. Right? Okay. If there's anything that you can think of on the DOC side, because our job is to, again, make sure you're following the rules, making sure that you're staying safe in the community, making sure that the community's safe, right? That's our primary goal. If you can think of something that the DOC can or should be doing that's within our authority, please let us know.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I know that you've had concerns about not being able to document proof of the harassment with the images, right, of intimate parts of a individual. That's something that's out of my control. Okay, that's a rule that I did not. It is not up to me to put that rule on your rules of supervision. The possession of intimate parts of an adult. I know that there was some disagreement about how that was interpreted, but ultimately, per supervisory direction, it was a rule that we had to enforce.
Yeah, it's illegal. You can't make rules or policies that contradict the Constitution.
Sure. And it sounds like you, took a recourse with the Department of Justice.
Yeah.
That's totally within your right, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there until I'm given, until I'm corrected. That's how it's right.
Yeah.
So
people
if there's, I would be curious to know what the DOC can do. I've provided some recommendations, some suggestions that you weren't, entirely receptive to, such as revisiting a doctor, right?
I just told you they're playing stupid. They're playing like they have the education of a 5-year-old. When these doctors, they know sensibly that no one's going to put if I would told the truth, sensibly no one's going to put it somewhere a doctor could casually find it.
And that's what
so they're going through the steps. They're doing the due diligence. Playing stupid. And my first approach, if someone walked in and told me that they were hearing voices and this was happening to them, I wouldn't look in their ears to find a piece of technology that could just easily be taken out. Especially if I wanted to be sincere in my efforts to discover whether or not they were telling the truth. And so going to see a doctor who's going to tell you, act like a 2-year-old and tell you, I can't see anything in your ears, so you must not be telling me the truth, is not the most productive thing to do. The most productive thing to do is to tell a lot of people, and hopefully someone outside of your realm, outside of the 5-mile area you live in, can help you or chooses to help you. But they got that covered too. So they make sure on YouTube, they call it the numbers. If you don't have enough followers, you won't be visible beyond the 5-mile radius you live in. So the best way to be viewed is to have more followers, to get more fame. And that's impossible because the average person won't be famous by doing the average things. And that's what I'm doing. I'm doing the average things. I'm making average videos. I'm telling a big story, but it's in the average format. So I'll never become famous. I'm not dancing. I'm not singing. I'm not laughing. I'm not telling jokes.
Right.
I'm doing nothing that will bring followers. So nobody outside my 5-mile radius will ever see or hear who I am. And so they beat you that way. I can't tell too many people. I guess this is just a record. So in the end, even my YouTube videos essentially are just a record of what I said was happening to me. Right. And so help isn't essentially, the videos won't lead unless someone changes the rules. These videos won't lead to me getting help. It's my best chance, it's my best shot. But what was I saying? The best shot is to make these videos and keep record. My second best idea would be to not go to a doctor who's going to gaslight me, who's going to say things to me like you shouldn't be. I can't see anything, and that's if I can't see anything, that means you're not hearing anything. But these people 2 or 3 weeks ago, or maybe last month, explained to me how it works. Like it should have been common sense to me from the beginning. It should have been common sense to me years ago. That's how they explained it to me. Like I was too dumb to realize, or I should have realized how